Welcome everyone to the Next Generation podcast. I'm Joe.
Dominique.
Timothy.
Person.
Herson is the new guy. We've actually got a few new people coming into Next Generation, so we're trying to introduce them on controllers down in the podcast. So if you want to see them, you can check out our shows.
You're stealing Dominique's only job.
What, the intro job? Hell, do option. You can do
What
option.
you're talking about? I always believed in Joe and his intro. I just picked it up while he recovered.
Yeah, like my lag animation's wearing off. I'm coming back up. You know. No, we can still talk about like some trash. Like we got the patch. We talked about this last week a little bit.
We did talk about it last
about
week.
the patch and stuff. But,
But I mean,
we're all getting
now,
really excited.
now that everyone's, gotten past the shock, we're starting to vote and everything for characters.
Yeah. Okay. Like I've noticed around the internet, like people are pushing things, including the companies. Fair on them. Pushing Super Meat Boy, pushing
Companies better push.
pushing Shovel Knight. Like if they have like a flagship character, it's totally fair.
They're pushing Goku hard.
But when you're pushing Goku, when you're pushing characters
Going a little far.
already in the game,
There's a-
pushing Superman.
There was a troll
stop.
push that I think will turn into a good push.
The king.
Yeah.
Would you like to elaborate on who this man is? This
I don't.
alligator?
Go for it.
Crocodile?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's if you played
King
Donkey Kong,
King, what's his name? King
don't-
K. Rool?
I think that's how you say
King
it.
K. Rool.
King K. Rool. And he's basically the boss in Donkey Kong Country, the original. And he's just a big, really awesome crocodile dude.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Big. Cool.
Yeah. He's everything that Smash deserves, but
Can you imagine his moveset yet?
no, not at all.
I'm sure somebody out there's already
Not at all.
done the legwork on
But
this.
it's an interesting concept.
Sakurai's in his office. He's the one secretly pushing King K. Rool. That's what we don't see.
He already has
It's
it
like he's already got the
created.
design doc done.
No, it's already
his
no,
office.
it's already done, ready
It's
to be
like-
shipped.
it was
ready to
on
be
his-
shipped with Mewtwo. He just needs it to pass the
he's already
vote.
done. Like the design doc is only on his desk because he was the one that made it. Yeah.
But
anyways.
yeah, I actually wouldn't know what he would do. But when you think of Donkey Kong, all you know is Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and that's all they ever use for any game that's outside of Donkey Kong Country or whatever branch that they have for that game. So for them to actually come up with a different Donkey Kong character that's actually pretty prevalent in the series. He's
Like
big,
you
quote
see,
unquote, he's
I'm
big.
sorry, I'm like my eyes are glazing over right now. I just don't like. I totally like Donkey Kong. I'm totally okay with Diddy Kong. Well,
No, you're not.
I like Diddy Kong as a character in the game. I don't like him as he is. But no, I like them. I just don't really want any more Donkey Kong. It's kind of like how I don't want any more Kirby. Because we already have three.
There's only
DDD, Meta Knight, and
Oh,
Kirby.
yeah.
Well, Sakurai makes
Yeah,
his
there's three.
Kirby guy.
There's three
Yeah.
Kirby's, but there's two Donkey Kong,
And then there's like
and it's Donkey
three
and
Fire
Diddy.
Emblems at a time. At any,
At any given
four.
time, there's four now.
Because Lucina, Marth, Ike, and Robin.
Yeah, Ike. How did I forget Ike?
Yeah.
How did I forget Ike? I was counting everyone except for Ike, so I was still stuck on three.
Anyways,
But yeah,
We could use a few more villain characters, though.
I wouldn't mind villains.
Yeah.
It's just because we have a lot of heroes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the only time we get a lot of heroes to fight each other, which is like, kind of the point of the series.
Yeah.
But I want more villains. It's just like right now all our villains are heavy characters.
do you think
I want
Waluigi
light
would make it in?
villains. I want a good one.
Waluigi. Do you think he would make it in there?
I don't think he's ever gonna make it in.
No.
I wouldn't mind Girahim. I don't really like Skyward Sword. The villain is Skyward Sword. The guy with the tongue.
The tongue, yeah.
Guy with the sword. I would block
He's
him.
fun to me.
He's cool,
Yeah.
and he'd be a light villain.
Yeah.
Like a lighter medium villain.
He'd have really cool.
and he'd be
have
cool.
a really cool moveset too.
But then he's a
actually.
sword guy. See, this is the problem we run into nowadays with Smash is like
Too many sword guys.
Like,
there?
there's a lot of sword characters.
There's a lot, but I feel like it's pretty balanced in between.
I mean, I like sword characters. I usually play sword characters and punching characters. That's all I play.
I'm trying to
But
think, but there's
Which is
what?
kind of funny because you're so heavily against like
If you take away,
weapon-based
but if you
fighting
take away
games.
everyone,
well, I mean, I like pokes.
but if you take away
uh,
everyone in the Fire Emblem series, there's not that many left. There's Meta Knight,
And Link.
and then 2 Links,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then Sword Me.
You're not wrong. I see your point. Yeah, no, I'd be okay. Like, I think your him would be good. I still want Wonder Red. I think he's the best character.
Wonder Red is. I hope Wonder Red wins. I'm more excited for him than
Red.
Shantae, but I'm so excited for Shantae.
Shantae wouldn't be bad. Like, I really like Shantae. I was gonna do a review, but never got around to it. But like, no, Shantae's like been a favorite franchise of mine.
Should
for a
have an
while.
interesting moveset.
She'd have an interesting moveset, and she has a lot of different powers. Like, she's been in a lot of games where she's like they have different themes, and
Yeah.
she's had like genie powers, and she has her hair that can like do whips.
Yeah.
I have like in my brain, like her final smashes, her hair gets like really big, and it's just like
Sweeps across.
yeah, sweeps.
That would
just
be
like one
cool.
big sweep. Like that's what I want. So like she just go whoosh and sweeps everyone. Yeah. Anyways, So yeah, Smash Ballot. If you guys want to check that out, like Nintendo still has it up, so that's something you can do.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun just to
It's
see
a lot
like
of fun
what
just to think about
the
it.
conversations that people are having. Are really interesting, like Isaac from Golden Sun and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People, a lot of Nintendo characters coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden.
A lot of Nintendo characters and a lot of other characters.
Oh, I saw one for Banjo-Kazooie that looked really good.
I wouldn't mind in what's his name? Had a Xbox guy. You know who I'm talking about, right? Because he was saying like, oh, we'd be totally okay. Like we would be able to work with them if they want Kazooie and Smash,
Right.
because Rare's like they'd be willing to work with them on it.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. It's like if you're saying like, hey, if you want to like, because people are willing to work with Nintendo for Smash.
He definitely expressed like interest in doing that collaboration.
Because like a big thing about Smash is like it promotes franchises that maybe certain audiences don't know about and would never have heard of otherwise, like the Fire Emblem characters.
And if they were to get Banjo-Kazooie in there, that would generate enough interest to
that
get
you could
another
maybe revive the
rebuild.
series a bit. Yeah. Because like what Rare is now is gutted. They're not Rare. Like that's
Yeah.
why they have that
I think
other team working on it.
You guys told me they basically turned into
they're the
Connect.
Connect Sports guys.
Yeah, they're not doing a lot of very interesting things
It's sad.
anymore.
It's
Yeah.
actually sad.
Really
don't
disappointing because
have-
they
they
had
don't
great
have-
games back in the day.
They don't have Donkey Kong anymore.
They had Donkey Kong.
I'm pretty sure DK was.
Oh, you're no.
Were they rare?
Yeah, they were.
They were rare.
they were
I'm
rare.
pretty sure they were
Good.
rare for like
Go,
the-
Kirsten.
right.
for
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
I
Donkey
remember
Kong
that.
Country 1, 2, and 3.
There was
I
also
was never
that,
a big Donkey Kong
that
fan,
Donkey
so,
Kong
okay.
on the N64.
Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
That was such a creative title.
Yep.
Lot
That's a
of the-
lot of N64
wasn't
games,
everything,
though.
just
It's like
Super
everything
Mario
just ends with
64.
64.
Blankety blank 64.
Yeah.
Sick title, bro. Anyways, was there any other big news that happened this week? That was like the big thing. Was like
That's
the
still,
Nintendo
like-
Direct dominated for like a couple
That's
Yeah.
still
months, and
generating
people are
buzz,
still talking
so
about it.
I don't think there's much else.
Yeah, I think it's
I haven't really looked at the news recently.
Yeah, yeah, we kind of just let the news pass by. We've been really busy outside of Next Generation stuff, so we haven't had time to check everything. So.
Yeah, I haven't even had time to really get anywhere in Bloodborne.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to Bloodborne. Like, I'm probably gonna beat it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna spend most of next week playing it.
So how about like stuff we've been watching or playing?
What have I been watching? Well, actually, Donnie, let's start with you. What
I
have you
finished Your Lie in April.
watched? I still need to start it.
It's beautiful.
I'm going to watch it.
It's so beautiful. Tears. But
Yeah. Single tear.
but yeah, it was that was like my recommendation for the last season, and I think it should.
Stuck through it.
I stuck through it,
and it came out really well.
and it pulled through.
Nice.
It pulled through, and I looked at some of the new stuff out there, and we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, like a
look-
lot of the promising stuff, we're not all sure about still.
Yeah,
That
it's
Food
the
Wars
first-
though.
Oh yeah,
Wars is
yeah,
promising.
Food
Food
Wars.
Wars, though.
I still haven't watched the first episode, but everyone's been telling me.
Ah.
Yeah, see, like
Oh.
exactly.
Oh.
Getting that reaction, like the go watch it reaction, so we can talk about it.
But yeah, I looked at Sound Euphonium,
Yeah.
and I'm not used to that studio at all.
KyoAni?
Yeah, I'm not used to KyoAni at
Yeah.
all. So I didn't know what to expect from them. But they don't seem like they're gonna focus that much on music.
They never.
I don't know.
Don't tell anybody. We need.
No one knows about this.
I don't
game.
want to spoil.
Wait, are you telling me that Free wasn't about the swimming?
Yeah.
K-On! wasn't about the
The
music.
K-On! wasn't about the music?
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I don't think
It's about the music.
It's about the music.
It's not about the music. I hear they're not going to focus on the euphonium.
But I
More of
looked
the
at
sound.
More of the sound.
I
more
looked
of
at the
sound.
is it bad to go through dungeons to pick up chicks or something?
Okay,
It's a
yeah,
really
to pick up-
long
You
name.
have to pick up women.
Is it
Yeah.
wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
I
like that. Like
Yeah.
You would know that. Sorry.
I haven't started it.
Oh,
No, like
My
the-
brother started it.
the shorthanded name for it is Danmachi, because even the Japanese name is super long.
Well, that's what they do
So
for a lot
just-
of
yeah.
guys. We're
So
just
they
like,
just split
give
it.
up.
But it's Danmachi, and it's gonna be your typical shonen, but it does look pretty exciting.
Is the animation any good?
Yeah, it
Great.
looks nice.
Okay, good.
Apparently, a lot of people are calling someone from it best girl already.
Yeah,
Is that girl?
I was telling.
Is it the one with the blue hair that keeps like showing or whatever?
I was telling you about her already.
What's her name?
When I was telling you the general plot, I don't know her name. She's just the whole theme around the game is like
Oh, it's a game.
sort of. I think of it as a game because you have a goddess, and each goddess has like a clan, and if you're in that clan, you go through dungeons and you get stronger to represent that clan. And
Sounds
obviously,
like gay to me.
yeah. So obviously, the main character is the only member of the clan for the little cute goddess chick or whatever.
Aww.
And she believes in him so much. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. No, I watch it. It sounds like a Maggie Brilliant part where it's like Queen Latifah, where she's like, "Go get it.
That's
You
basically.
can do this for our park."
That's
what
there's
it
a
is.
character called Queen Latifah.
Yeah, and I'm a booty.
Really?
Yeah, they're all named. Freaking Sento is just 50 Cent. All their names translate to like
Yeah.
the main dude's name. The main dude is translate to Kanye West. The main girl translates to 50 Cent. Like stuff like that, and then the main
So it's like
the
the
lolly
stands
girl,
from JoJo.
lolly girl is
Yeah.
named Queen Latifah. Literally, like it's like her name's Latifah, but then if you think about her position, you realize she's a queen, and you're like,
Right.
son of a. This is awful. The worst kind of jokes.
Yeah.
What about you, Timothy?
I started a couple shows from the new season, like Yuki Nagato. Like we were watching Food Wars, but like apart from like the new season stuff, those are the only things I've watched for the new season so far. I'm probably gonna try start up Kekai Sensen. We were looking at that. We said it looked cool, and Punchline also came out, so I'm probably gonna start that.
I'm hearing some buzz about Punchline. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Punchline
check
looks
it out.
Come out already?
interesting.
I thought, because I knew it came out a little later than the others, so I haven't gone back to see if it actually released.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, like it's on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
here's
Yeah.
some buzz.
But like apart from that stuff, I haven't had time to continue Bloodborne
So
recently.
we've discussed this. What do you think, Yuki-chan?
It's different.
It's different.
very, very different.
I'm
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We'll see how it goes, because that was just the first episode. But it seems interesting. Not super big on some of the redesigns though.
yeah.
Like-
You said you didn't like Surya.
yeah, I didn't like Surya. She looked a little too old for my taste, because it doesn't match her personality.
Which is funny. Like
She's supposed to be
you're
the older
super
one.
not invested in this. She's
No.
supposed to be like a senpai character.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. She's like an upperclassman.
Yeah, but like she acts like a kid. She has like the personality of like a
Yeah,
young
she's
child.
a goofball.
Yeah,
basically,
okay.
she's a goofball. But like, you don't care because you're not like a Haruhi fan. But like, we're like super picky.
No, I see Isaiah makes a status almost
Oh
every
yeah,
day
our friend
about
Isaiah.
it.
But you were saying something about Kyon, how he looked a little bit too young.
Kyon looks. I'm not saying he looks too young.
He looks
I'm
more
saying
his age,
He
but
looks
he
his
looked
age
better when he
because
was
he's supposed to be
older.
a freshman.
Yeah, but he's the most mature character.
But he's the most mature character, so they always drew him a little older and like
Yeah.
gave him a face of like disappointment and sarcasm constantly.
Yeah.
It's like everyone else is doing stupid stuff because he's
Right.
like the main main character. But he's pretty jaded.
Yeah.
I think he's just less jaded in this series, so it fits his character better. He's
Right.
not like he still like he's still surprised by stuff, but like I don't know. I think the style's all right.
Yeah.
I'm happy that they got a different studio to do it, only because I don't know if I'd want KyoAni just doing Haruhi again.
Right.
I'd like it, like at least if it's a spin-off.
Yeah.
If they do a season 3, then I would like them to go back to KyoAni.
What do you think of the new Haruhi design?
I think she looks fine. I think she was like one of the characters that was changed the least.
She looked pretty, like her hair's darker, her hair's longer.
No, her hair's longer because of disappearance.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Right.
It's just her disappearance.
Yeah, but they made the hair a little bit darker. Her face has changed a little bit too.
I didn't really look at how dark. Well, I didn't really look at how dark the hair was. I thought it was just because it was in the evening.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know anything about
We're talking about like a
like,
hard.
there's like some animes that I've never heard of.
You should watch. Okay, we're talking about a series called The Disappearance of Yuki
Nagato-chan.
Nagato-chan, which is a spin-off of the Melancholy of Haruhi Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is a show that pretty much everybody should watch.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's like how do I describe it? It's like a sci-fi harem show.
It's slice of life,
Slice
but
of
not
life.
really slice of life.
It's not, okay. It's not really a spoiler to say this because I think if anybody that like looks up the show will figure this out pretty quickly. This guy Kyon is the main character, and he meets like this girl named Haruhi Suzumiya. It turns out she is the god of the universe, but she does not know. So she controls all of these things, and she's like really into like sci-fi and
Supernatural
fantasy, like
things.
supernatural stuff. So she's like, if she wants to meet like
Aliens.
time travelers, and espers.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, so she forms a club to find these things. And then the 3 other members that join that are not Kyon and Haruhi are a time traveler, an esper, and a alien.
But she's not. She's
But
not
she's
aware.
not
of
aware
this.
of this, and she can never know.
Okay.
What? If she
Because
knows,
if she knows, she could potentially just break the universe.
Oh.
It's one of those.
okay.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Like it's important. Like there's like this balancing act of like you can't let her know,
Right.
and that's why they have to keep everything normal. But then because she has all these powers, lots of supernatural events just happen. Or like if she gets angry,
tied to like her emotion and
yeah,
stuff.
they're tied to her emotions. So if she gets upset or she gets sad, like I think my favorite thing is when she dreams or has nightmares, like they'll go like. There's like this other dimension where like her emotions are like running rampant basically, and like they're personified as like giant beings, and the jobs of the Espers are to keep them in until I'm not let them out because obviously can't have giants running rampant.
Right.
Okay.
It's an interesting show. It's fun.
There's a lot going on with Haruhi. That's why it's kind of hard to say like, oh, it's just this school slice of life show, but it's really dramatic.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on.
And Disappearance is basically just like a spin-off of that, where one of the characters,
Not really a spin-off, more of like completing the story.
yeah, well, no, because it doesn't happen. That
Right.
doesn't happen. It's a spin-off where like take out all the supernatural elements, but you still have those characters,
Oh, okay.
and it's just and that's literally just cute slice.
Oh, you're talking about Yuki Nagato.
Yeah,
I was
well, it's hard
thinking
to.
of
I don't
Disappearance
want
of
to
Haruhi.
spoil it
Yeah.
because it's hard to spoil it's easy to spoil the concept of
Yeah.
why it's like that, but basically it's a spin-off where it's just no supernatural stuff.
Okay.
That's why like we're invested in this because it's stuff we like,
Right.
and not just because it's like cute and because it's
Yeah.
Kyoto animation. That's part of why I like it. That's part of why I got into it originally when he told me, and that's why I've like delved deep into Kyoto animation. I just really like how they do stuff.
Okay.
Anyways,
I mean, you explain it every time and it doesn't sound bad. You just made the mistake of telling me about that one.
I told him about him, the 8.
Oh, the Endless
I'm
Eight.
not telling him.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
I'll see. I'll think about it.
You might like it.
Okay.
Anyways,
What have you been watching?
Yeah, what have you been watching or playing or doing this week?
Playing nothing recently, and I've been
No?
stumped with work.
Are you
But
still-
here's the thing though, because I like to cook, so I work as a cook. You know, Food Wars was like my
Yeah.
thing right now. Like, I was excited when
He's
that
got
thing
his
came
own
out.
food war.
Like, yeah,
Wasn't that first episode just great?
yeah, it was. Like this is the first time in my life I've ever seen food, like cooking food and someone eating food being sexualized. Because like, that's where someone was like, what?
It is food porn.
Yeah.
Food porn. That's what I'm.
No,
People keep telling
it's
me.
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
I'm worried. I'm worried. That,
I'm
like,
excited for you to watch
Is
it.
this like
Yeah.
a show that I shouldn't have people like outside?
Don't,
like,
yeah.
Don't let
Yeah.
people know
Yeah.
I'm watching this kind of thing.
You don't want those earphones to unplug at the wrong moment.
Yeah.
They won't
Yeah.
realize you're just watching people cook food and eat.
And
food.
like it's hard.
Exactly.
It's
Probably watch it
really
with
hard to
headphones.
say that. Like no one's gonna believe you at
Yeah.
that point.
You should probably watch it with headphones.
Probably watch it with headphones. Okay,
Probably
gotcha.
close your doors too. You know, there's like
Close a
the
lot of
scene there.
doors. If there are
Yeah.
doors in between me and
Windows,
people, close them.
close the blinds.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you thought like
Yeah.
you liked Food Wars a lot?
I'm watching Food Wars. I'm excited for the I think it was the 3rd season of Gintama.
Gintama?
Gintama,
Oh, yeah,
that one
yeah.
came out. Yeah, like I watched the first
I
season.
haven't started that.
It's a
Really?
shonen show.
I watched.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched the
shonen
show.
Shonen.
It's there's no actual like real plot to it. It's kind of like South Park, where things just happen. There's like short 3-episode arcs.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I can get into this.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can,
you can get into it.
actually
It's
just
like
jump
a
into
simple
like
thing.
whatever
So I should
episode
get
and
into
you're
it.
fine.
Yeah.
How many episodes are there?
200.
Well,
It's long. But that's, like the beauty of it
but it
is-
doesn't matter.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
beauty
it
of it is you can just
Yeah.
start now.
I like that.
You'll be good.
I like this.
Yeah, it's a
I
fun
might
show.
check it
It's a
out.
great
Lots
show. man.
of testicle jokes.
Yeah. I'm.
Because Gintama is like a pun for Kintama, which is like golden balls, which is your nuts.
This is my kind of show. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
I'm coming
fun.
late to the party.
It's fun.
Are you
Ooh.
still
You might want to
playing
watch
Monster
the Star
Hunter?
Wars.
Yeah, I'm
one.
still playing Monster Hunter. Not as much
There
as
was a
before.
Star Wars
though,
thing,
like,
right?
like once I reached 100 rank, G rank 3, then I got stumped with like stuff and midterms and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I stopped for a while.
No, we're gonna get back on the horse for a lot of
Are
our
you guys,
games.
are you guys gonna come back for spring break?
We'll
I have
see.
my- do I have my
I
team?
still got a marathon Bloodborne.
Do I have my hunt team?
Well, we were gonna hunt other monsters in Bloodborne.
I could hunt.
I'm sorry. I know. We're like you get to see the disappointment. Like, oh, okay, tier.
She's more where you are.
Yeah, he could probably. You could probably hurt him.
Yeah.
I'll play person.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show all of you.
You know, I try to bring you guys with me, and
So
you
we just went from B team to like F team. in his
yeah. I
eyes.
don't know where you guys are anymore.
We're just
But,
gone.
like, I sacrificed my A team spot to come back for you guys. And Joe came back for a little while. Then he hit G rank and was like, "All right, I'm done."
I'm not gonna lie, that's literally what happened. I'm like, oh, I made it. Okay, done.
Yeah.
I'm still HR6.
Thanks.
We can. We'll get him to. We'll
I
get him
can
to
bring
G-rank.
you with me. I have my alt is 6 now.
Yeah.
We'll get him to G rank. Then you can feel a little accomplished about yourself.
Yeah.
And then we can.
I just want to get to G rank. I
Yeah,
don't care
that-
about anything after that. I
this
feel
guy,
like I completed
right,
the game once I hit
It's
G
really
rank.
all that
You did.
matters.
We super didn't. This what we have to ignorantly believe
Yeah.
that we did.
That you
Like
reached
like
the end.
like just G rank's my end game.
G rank. It was.
Why though? Like this is like fucking the Fatalis monsters, man. Those guys.
I still want to
yeah,
get my ninja dragon armor. I don't.
Yeah,
remember
it's
which
like
one
it was
There's
like an
still
elder dragon.
elder
armor.
dragons. That
Yeah,
you
that's
can-
what he wants. He wants like an armor from them. Like Demity,
Well, you
dream
have-
lower.
You'll have to get far past G rank.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a rank after G rank, after G3, right?
Then you start crowning after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got like the bronze, gold, silver, and gold, right?
Basically, it's at that point it doesn't become urgent or anything. It's just you start hunting, and the more you hunt, the more you decrypt like this ancient text or whatever.
Yeah, they're like scrolls. Like every
Yeah.
monster you like, every
Ancient
like
text.
quest you beat, it give you like it unlocks a certain like letters and stuff. And once you complete like a scroll, you unlock a certain quest. Like I think there was a quest where you unlock the G rank version of like Molten Tigrex, and he's an asshole.
Yeah, Tigrex that fights like brute,
Yeah.
but now fire.
So now we're there.
Yeah.
So now we're there.
guys are
Where
there.
you guys were before.
you guys are at brute. You guys are at brute Tigrex level. Now you have to get to
Molten.
molten level. Yeah.
Anyways,
Every rank is a new subspecies, pretty much.
I think on that note we might want to just
But
go
yeah.
to the main
Yeah,
topic.
Yeah.
Now that we're demoralized enough.
Where do we want to start?
Well, I guess today
Because we have a couple interesting things going on today.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about we'll talk about companies, and we'll lead into that. We'll lead into that.
Okay.
Okay.
Why am I first?
I didn't say you were first.
You were looking
What,
at me like
Herson?
I was gonna be first.
You. So Herson,
Yeah.
you're first.
Okay.
It's like pulling teeth.
News guy starts.
So
first.
we wanted to talk about a little bit about like companies that were like
Our childhood.
influential
Okay.
influential to us and kind of like inspired us to get more into video games beyond just playing Mario and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Herson, what was like a big company that inspired you or like is like really influential to your childhood?
Neversoft with the Tony Hawk games, and there was
I forgot all
Naughty
about
Dog.
Neversoft.
Well, you
Neversoft-
know what happened to them, right?
No, I have no idea.
They do Call of Duty map designs.
yeah.
They're making money.
You ain't wrong.
Neversoft.
No, that's literally what they do. It's kind of like
I mean, they did have fantastic map designs for the Tony Hawk games. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
that they
that's what we
did.
forgot to mention. Like Tony Hawk, the new Tony Hawk maybe just Pro Skater 5.
what?
What?
Yeah, that's what people are. That's what.
We'll wait
His,
till-
it
we'll
was like his caterer.
We'll wait till we
wait,
get.
wait,
We'll wait
wait,
till we
wait.
get over here. We need to
Okay,
not
okay,
get
I'm
into
sorry.
that.
No,
That's
it's fine.
big.
I don't know about this. What?
No,
That's
we'll
big.
continue.
We'll come back.
Once we come back, we'll do this. And we'll hit this when we talk about Pro Skater.
Okay.
That's big.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So yeah, another one was Naughty Dog, because like back then, I used to have a PS1, PS2 with my cousins, so we'll play a lot of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
So and then Naughty Dog was like the people who actually made Crash Bandicoot, and just to see them, go from Crash to like Uncharted games and stuff like that, just like
You just skip Jack. Yeah.
You skipped Jack.
Yeah,
and
Ja-
Daxter.
Who
yeah.
doesn't?
Yeah. No,
I mean,
we
I
were-
like
we're
Jack
all-
and Dexter, but I feel like I was more
I
of
love
a
Jack and Daxter.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
well,
I was more of a Ratchet
I
and
played
Clank,
a
just like
lot.
Cooper kind of guy.
Oh, so you were Ratchet and Clank.
I was
yeah.
both. I played both.
You were actually kind of in the minority there.
You're rare.
Yeah.
Like
I
where
played-
it's play both.
Even though I played both, I still found myself more of a Ratchet and Clank person.
See,
I
because
did prefer Ratchet and Clank. I still like them both.
because I played both, and like I played all the way through one of Ratchet and Clank, and I was like, this is cool, and then I played all of Jack. I played all of Jack 2. I played all of Jack 3, and then I picked up Future for Ratchet and Clank, Future Tools of Destruction.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
Those
was
are
like, this is good, but it's not. I wanted Jack for next gen, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really want that anymore. I don't want the new Jack back. I think he should stay where he is on PS2. But I wanted more Jack, and I was like, oh, I got his Ratchet and Clank, I guess.
It was you that told me that Jack and Daxter was actually the more successful one during that time. Were they?
Yeah, I think they were.
I believe so.
That's really odd that they didn't make it though.
What do you mean? Make more?
No, I mean like they didn't come to the next gen.
Well, I mean, I think they wanted to push Uncharted. Like, they wanted to, like, go forward because
Yeah.
they had to, like, Sony was kind of like, hey, we want you to show off the power of this new system. So can you try and do like more realistic faces and stuff like that, and skin and stuff? I mean, like honestly, like if you look at Uncharted, it's still stylized. It's still like if you look at his hair, like I mean, once you get to like 3 and stuff, it looks a bit more just realistic. But looking at like 1 and 2, it's a little cartoony.
1 and 2 is still cartoony.
Yeah, it's
outside
a little
the
silly.
cutscene.
Yeah. Cutscenes. Yeah, but we're like huge Naughty Dog fans. So, like if you were watching, you're in good company.
We're
I enjoy
majors.
the Uncharted still.
So are you you're in 2 and
I'm
you're
in
just
2.
halfway through?
I'm
You
still
just
at
stopped
the,
playing.
I stopped at the Bloodborne.
I would try and finish 2 because you're honestly
At least
like,
finish 2.
You're honestly at like 3 or 4 more hours.
Yeah. I'm also,
Naughty Dog is like a great company. Like, you just really like Crash Bandicoot a lot. It was like a big thing for you.
Yeah, back then it was just a big thing for me. Now it's like, that Uncharted though. They
Yeah,
can't wait for the new one to come out.
Did you play Last of Us?
No, I did not.
Do you have a PS3? Oh, yeah.
I had one. I burned it, it broke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Last of Us is
we'll
like
hold a funeral.
it's good to. I mean, I'm happy that like they've really evolved. Like they're like a great example of like evolving with the industry and like pushing it forward.
Their styles changed so much.
Yeah,
They kept up, and they were such strong competition that they forced other people to try and
they were
match
like
them. Like,
they're like looking from on top of the mountain, being like telling everyone else to get good.
but they've been looking down for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Like the PS2, you can say Ratchet and Clank was like keeping up with them.
But once it got to like,
But PS3, then Uncharted obviously took over.
Yeah.
Well, because like
ran through them.
Yeah, it's. I think what makes Naughty Dog such a good company is like a lot of their employees are just self-motivated, super self. They're not doing this as a job. They're doing this as like it's a passion, a true passion.
Oh yeah, and it shows.
Yeah, and like they put in the time because they want to, basically. And I think it shows. Yeah, it shows in every pixel of their games, basically, every little tiny detail. What about you, Timothy?
Well, when I was younger, I did grow up with like just pretty much just Nintendo stuff. But like after moving on to like PS2, that's like when I started like really going out there with like more of the games and everything with like Square Enix, mostly just Kingdom Hearts.
So Squaresoft.
There were Squaresoft at
Squaresoft.
Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
They're still Squaresoft.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it was mostly just that, but like I did grow up with like Game Freak, Pokemon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They still like really. They released like a new game this year, or they're working on one, just like a little side scroller. But it's mostly Pokemon. They still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
Pokemon tournament
they don't
coming.
need anything else.
They don't need
Game
it.
Freak does not need anything
Sure,
else.
they
That's their
created
big moneymaker.
They created a genre. They created the pocket monster genre.
Yeah. Yeah, so like it was pretty much just that stuff. Like not a lot going on. I mean, there was also Naughty Dog too. I played Jack and Daxter, and then there was Ratchet and Clank. What was Ratchet and Clank again?
They're Insomniac.
Insomniac.
Yep.
Yeah. But those were like the only like 2. I didn't really play Crash Bandicoot. I played a little bit at my cousin's.
that was
Crash
PS1,
Bandicoot was big on PS1. PS2 they fell off.
I never actually had a PS1. My cousin had a PS1. I would play there sometimes too.
Yeah, if you played I mean, it's always been Naughty Dog versus Insomniac for a while because for PS1 it was Crash Bandicoot and Spyro.
And then PS2 it's
Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank.
And then PS3 it's.
See, that's the problem. They upgraded to Uncharted.
Yeah.
Insomniac didn't have
like a response.
They
for
just
them.
had Ratchet Future, but they
I was
didn't have
thinking of Sucker Punch. My bad. I was thinking of Sucker Punch where it went from like Sly Cooper to Infamous.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
That was a thing.
Because it's like take these mechanics of like climbing and stuff. Like I'd probably say like maybe like Sucker Punch, but like I don't know, going back, I don't know, it might come back to me. But Sucker Punch is like a big deal for me.
Yeah.
We're all just picking freaking Sony things. I feel bad.
I love Sly Cooper.
Yes.
Nintendo.
It's like,
No,
it's
I
amazing
mean,
for me.
mine was something I grew up
Nintendo's.
on was Rare. Like I actually did.
Yeah.
I did Rare when they were good.
Yeah, that's true. When they had the All-Star team still.
They did, and then God,
Banjo
they just
Kazooie, Donkey Kong
they
Country.
stripped them. They just stripped
Oh
them.
well, they
bare.
like what happened is like they're working on a Kickstarter that's basically a spiritual successor to Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah.
That's actually what they're doing. In case you're wondering, there's still hope.
Yeah, that was also Rare for me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they were a big deal.
that
They
Jet
were a
Force
real
Gemini.
big deal. Jet Force Gemini is actually a thing.
Jet Force Gemini, Donkey Kong,
That Vaseline filter on that in 64.
Banjo Kazooie. They were up there.
Yeah, I grew up on like SquareSoft and Square Enix stuff too, because like I played a lot of like mostly like SquareSoft times, but like I grew up on like the Final Fantasy games and then Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that.
Ooh, I did play Final Fantasy, the one that was on the GameCube.
Yeah,
Yep. Is it Crystal Chronicles?
Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal
Yeah.
Chronicles.
Yeah, I played that also.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, like, we grew up more on, like, Nintendo stuff.
Yeah.
I grew up playing, like, NES at my friend's house. And then I, like, jumped from NES to PS2. A little bit of a leap there. A little bit of a leap.
Yeah, I had
Like, that was what we did.
I went from Super Nintendo, and then here's the thing. I branched in 2 different directions. I had Super Nintendo. For console, I stayed mostly Sony, PlayStation 2, blah, blah, blah. But for handhelds, like, with my own money, I was actually buying still Nintendo stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Game Boy
I mean,
Color, my own money.
I think
Game Boy
Nintendo's always
Advance,
dominated,
blah.
like, the handheld. Like, I had a PSP. I had the PSP 2000, like, the slimmer model.
Mhm.
Like, I always bought the Nintendo handheld. The only one I ever missed was, like, the DS generation. I got back on it.
Yeah, I missed DS and DSi.
I've had Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, the first DS, and then I skipped.
So you had, like, the gray brick one, right?
I stopped.
Yeah.
I stopped that. I stopped there, and then now 3DS.
Yeah,
and
there we go.
3DS XL.
Yeah, so you just didn't have a DSi. See,
Yeah.
like, Nintendo's always been pretty influential with that, and that's why I think that's why they dominate our headspace so much. Like when we think about like old companies, because most of it just like it was like all of these and Nintendo, all of it was like and Nintendo stuff because it was such an important part of our childhood.
Yeah.
Nintendo's never really been like a big part of like the console wars either. Like they've just been
They're
doing
their
their
own
own
thing.
thing.
No, because they're their own. Yeah,
They're so
Yeah.
different.
like it's always gonna, and I think it's always gonna be that way. It's
Well, they're trailblazers.
Yeah.
And like everyone else follows or tries. PlayStation Move coming. Yeah, exactly. Connect.
they should have never did that.
No, they
PlayStation
should.
All-Stars.
PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Oof. Oof.
I played it once.
You
with
know,
them.
like, man,
Ugh.
I like that game.
I
I
did.
actually bought it.
See,
I liked it.
I
I
was
bought
fun.
it. It was
Like,
fun.
Timothy
fun.
doesn't like it. Timothy doesn't like
Really?
it because I
I don't like the controls.
I wailed on him
Oh, because
a
you
little
got
bit too much.
you got bopped. You got bopped, Timothy.
Got bopped a little bit. I used Nariko's level 3 where she like makes the
Oh,
tournament, and
yeah.
it was post patch, so
man.
it wasn't broken as much. But like it was still like I just killed her like 6 times.
She was like broken.
She was
so
broken.
bad.
was ridiculous.
Well, because she was broken, because at the end of this level 3, wow, we're getting into this right now. At the end of the level 3, you could still do a tornado, for like a full tornado, but they patched
Yeah.
that out afterwards. But like you could still like do whole level 3, and then like, oh, I'm about to run out and do a tornado and get like 3 more kills.
Yeah.
It was dumb. Yeah, I made her. That's why I was like,
And then I think there was Kratos too. Was like also partially broken.
see, Kratos.
the two that
I have
the
this
two
argument
that-
with people about Kratos. I don't think, as someone who hated playing against Kratos, I
Yeah.
still don't think he's broken because his supers sucked.
Yeah.
They were really bad in my opinion. So like he could get him super fast and then he'd still have a hard time killing you. That's just my opinion. Anyways, back
on track.
back to Nintendo. Yeah, but no, it's like they're just. It's funny because we're a little younger, so we didn't like. We weren't around when those systems came out,
Yeah.
but for so many of us, they were hand-me-downs and stuff like that. So we ended up playing them a lot.
Yeah, Super Nintendo was my hand-me-down, and it was great.
Yeah,
I played it.
I still think the SNES is like honestly one of the best consoles.
Yeah, if I still had it, I'd still play it like regularly right now.
I'm thankful that the Wii has the virtual console still. That's why I don't like that the Wii U just didn't carry it over like perfectly, just one for one. They didn't.
yeah.
They should have. They should have just carried over. Oh, I have these things. I just carries over. They should have just had it. And that's on.
That's what they're doing now, aren't they? Like,
Yeah,
they're charging
after
you
the
$2
after the
for
fact.
transfers.
Are they? Is that what they're
I
doing?
think it's like it costs $2 to transfer, but you're not actually paying for the game. You're just paying for the transfer.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's yeah, no, it's. I think it's important. I think we covered a lot of companies there, especially Nintendo. That was the big deal. I think we
Yeah.
could probably move on
They're
to
the big
those.
dogs. Well,
Interesting.
speaking of all that nostalgia, yeah, there's so many games back in the day that we now
Dramatic
consider.
pause.
Beautiful.
God,
Beautiful.
why do you have to ruin my pause? It was perfect.
Was it?
I counted.
it wasn't.
I counted.
Counted the pause in. 1, 2.5.
Yeah. But I mean, there are just so many games that are now considered classics, but what? Who's played them or who's heard of them now? You know? You play Smash Bros. And you see all these characters, but you don't know where they come from. You see so much, but you don't see their humble beginnings. So let's try and recommend some humble beginnings for our fans.
Welcome everyone to the Next Gen Nation Reading List Book Club Recommendation Forum, whatever list
Of games.
of games.
Where's our sticker to put on these games?
And by recommendation, we mean you have to.
No, this is like it's basically the Oprah Reading Club, whatever.
But yeah, like Timothy, we'll start with you because you were harping on this first choice.
Oh, Paper Mario?
Yes.
I love Paper Mario. what Paper Mario did was it took the Mario series and turned it into like more of like an RPG style game with like a different art style. And
The art style is what was innovative in that game.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about turning Mario into an RPG, you have to
want
go
to
to
Super
Super
Mario
Mario
RPG.
RPG.
there is Super Mario RPG.
But I think Paper Mario is better.
They did it better, but
It's like I think it's like the good version.
yeah.
This is what
It's
it
the
should've
one
been.
that kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
we
continued
still have
all-
Paper
it's
Mario.
continued over to the Wii, and
But
like
it was that daring attempt that led to it all, which was not a bad attempt.
What, Super Mario RPG?
Super Mario RPG was alright.
Did you get a chance to play it, or you mostly a Paper Mario guy?
I was mostly a Paper Mario guy, but like I played a little bit of it. Yeah. I did like Paper Mario more. And I like that Paper Mario like brought you to like all these cool areas, like the Shy Guy world, or like that desert mummy place. Like it was a fun game, and I spent a lot of time playing it.
So what's like the classic factor? Like, why should I play that over like Super Mario RPG?
It's an old game.
It's an old game.
both-
It's
really
it's a
well.
game that still holds up really well.
Yeah, I think that's what you're gonna see a lot
Yeah,
about this
it
list.
holds
is
up
we
really well.
Have games that hold up.
And if you don't believe that, just go look for all the disappointed fans to learn that Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door thing for the 3DS wasn't real. Did you guys see that?
No, what is this?
It was just like, it was last week, and it was like it turned into like a big April Fool's thing. But this guy very brilliantly turned like a 1,000-Year Door trailer into a 3DS version and put it
Oh no.
into the interwebs as a,
Dude.
hey, this is
Oh,
coming out.
no.
Here's like footage of it. And he says he
That's
didn't.
really
he,
good,
he says he
dude.
didn't think it was gonna cause so much buzz, but come on,
But you knew.
come on.
You knew.
That's
That's what he did.
Working on that,
Yeah.
that for months. Can't wait for April Fools.
But yeah, it was quite the stir, and then everyone found out it was fake, and there were a lot of broken hearts.
Do you know if it's on the Virtual Console? Like if it's easy to find, or like what console would we have?
Should be.
It should be.
I don't use the Virtual Console very often.
You're just looking at me like, I don't know. I don't know where it's at.
I have my Wii and I play Smash.
So what did you play it on?
I played Paper Mario on the N64.
Okay.
And then I played a little bit of the Wii version of it. Didn't get very far in the Wii version. I don't know. I guess I just kind of grew out of it. I still love the one on the N64 though. I still think it's a great game. But yeah. What about what's next on the list? Mortal Kombat.
That's like my personal one right there.
Yeah.
Me and Joe always talk about it. Joe's more Street Fighter. I'm more Mortal Kombat.
I don't. Okay. We're not. We've talked about Street Fighter a lot, so we're gonna use this time to talk more about Mortal
talk about-
Kombat. Give Dominique a chance to defend his wrong choice.
Why Mortal Kombat's so good? Because you can't punch somebody as hard as you do in Street Fighter and they don't bleed. They do in Mortal Kombat.
I don't.
Bam.
Bam.
That's it. No, but I mean, honestly, it wasn't about the mechanics. It was just how
Gory it was.
how ridiculously can you kill this person?
That presentation at the time.
How many
was
times can you
ridiculous.
crush their skull before they finally stay down?
The fatalities.
Yeah, the fatalities.
The fatalities,
everything like
the
that.
brutalities, the animalities,
The babalities.
babalities, like
Babalities.
babalities. That,
It's babalities.
that was the one that was
Babality.
babality. That was the one that was the most insulting. Because in order to trigger that, you had to get a perfect kill without ever blocking.
Yeah.
So that means you just have to curb stomp your opponent.
Just utter destruction.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Those are
That's
hilarious.
use it, and then that's what you
And
do.
then you get babalities. I mean, like,
But I mean,
Mortal Kombat was a big deal at the time, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was controversial. You can imagine what it looks like now, but just imagine on a little Nintendo system or in the arcades, little sprite blood flying everywhere, and just parents were mortified by how gritty and gory this game was.
Well, you know
Like,
how it was on Nintendo, right? On the SNES? They didn't have the blood.
No.
It was like, but they had it on the, what was it? That Sega
Saturn?
Was it
Saturn CD, Genesis? Genesis?
Genesis? It
It was a Sega. It was a Sega.
I want to say it was a
Sega.
Genesis. That they did have the blood if you entered the code.
Yeah.
But yeah, that all the blood and the gore, like, there was no rating system back then. It wasn't like movies or anything where like it just magically had a rating system.
No.
That was the reason that we have the ASRB
That's what did
today.
Look
Was
at that box.
'Cause they
Look
saw
at the
that.
E, the T, the M.
They saw Scorpion pull some man's spine out of his body, and they were like, you know what, we have to.
We should probably limit the access to this game. It's funny
kids
because
shouldn't be
Not like it
playing this.
stopped anyone.
it's
like,
funny because they're still in the arcades. I always thought that was funny. Like I'm glad they made a rating system for consoles, but like you could still just walk into an arcade and play it. Like you can still do that nowadays.
yeah.
I also feel like I don't know. Maybe today it would still be an M. I feel like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 would probably be T now.
Oh, for sure.
It'd probably be T now.
T.
Even though with the blood,
Yeah.
I think it'd still be T.
Well, I mean, there are games now that still do. They finally do like battle damage. So
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
It would be T.
I always just really like the presentation for the old games because they used like some sort of like JPEGs or something. Like they just like made different frames of like this. It was an interesting way to animate it. It didn't require sprites.
It didn't.
What about you, Harrison? Did you ever play any like the old Mortal Kombat games at all?
I played one once.
One
once.
Yeah, I never went back to it because I got like trained by my older cousins.
Oh,
That's what happens.
That's what happens. That's what happens. Like a lot of fighting.
That's a lot of fighting games.
Saw my character get burned by a
Get out.
scorpion.
Yeah.
Got lit on fire. Oh, did he do the fatality?
I think yeah.
Did he like fall off the mask?
Yeah, that too.
And set you on fire.
Well, there you go.
With me, like I was never big on like the Mortal Kombat series, but I do just love seeing all that gore and
It's
all the
silly.
fatalities. It's just so awesome.
Are you gonna pick up X? I don't know how to do X.
Yes. You're a Super Sentai now. No, I might. We'll see. Like it's great looking. So
It does look very good.
Yeah, it looks really
It's
good.
amazing.
I always thought it was funny that like when you look like at old fighting games and still like Street Fighter, they have terrible stories. But like in the last few iterations of Mortal Kombat, they're like super pushing this big story now, and I like that. I
And
like
they're-
the characters.
They're
are getting
pushing the
together.
story. It's like continuity between 9 and 10 by the looks of it.
Like between 9 and 10, Johnny Cage and Sonya had a kid who grew up to become a Mr. Forces officer. I'm like, that's so weird. And then they,
Like there's a Cage family now.
there's the
It's
Cage
ridiculous.
family, and they have as many issues as you think they would.
There've been decades between this whole love
That's ridiculous to
battle,
me.
this
I like
back
that
and
they're
forth,
doing
and now
that.
they finally embraced it.
It's cool. Anyways, what's the next one?
They embraced it in the movies actually, but we don't speak of the movies too much.
Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat. I'll talk about the movies all
That's
day.
still the greatest. Oh,
I don't love
so
Mortal
much.
Kombat, but I love
Everybody
those
knows
dumb
the Mortal
movies.
Kombat theme.
Fight. Fight. That's still my favorite voice too. For like fighting games or like announcer, I think
That's
Mortal
what- I like
Kombat's still my
the
favorite.
Smash guy is like on my ranks. I
Yeah.
think Mortal Kombat guy is like right below it.
Right below it, yeah. And then the toasty guy.
Toasty. Well, you know what that is, right? That's one of the creators.
Yeah.
Who does Toasty? That was like really. That was in like game 1 or
Yeah.
2.
I hate the announcer for Blaze Blue.
You hate him?
No, I hate the announcer for Blaze Blue.
Why?
Because it's annoying.
Oh.
Counter.
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 Rebel 1.
Rebel
Oh
one.
yeah. Rebel.
But anyway, let's move on to the next one.
I don't know.
Why don't you bring us into this one? This is
Uh-oh.
yours.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little earlier, but
No.
you seem most interested in this.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, you know. I played as a kid a lot.
I will admit that is what got me interested in skateboards.
Yeah, it made skating cool back then.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I think at one point the Sega had a skating game, but it was more like arcade style. But Tony Hawk, like Never Saws and Activision, they basically like made it took a
Jet Set Radio.
what?
Skating. Oh.
Not for Sega.
Jet Set Radio is Dreamcast.
That was Dreamcast, but that
Yeah.
wasn't.
Oh,
before
okay. Sorry. Continue.
Tony Hawk, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah, like those two companies, they took like you know like the skating, the sport of genre, the sport of skateboarding, so like in a more realistic way, and then they added like some cool songs to it, so you know that made it like twice as better.
Yeah,
Awesome soundtracks.
Yeah.
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 Just had to think about that. What I like most is that you didn't play Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and Tony Hawk was automatically your favorite one. Like, he didn't gimp any of the other guys featured in that game.
Yeah, they had like. What was cool is like, well, just like in like sports games and stuff, they got like professional. They got real characters. They got the real people. Like,
Yeah.
so they had all these professional skaters in there, and you're like. Coming from nerdy little kid, I'm like, I don't know who the hell these people are, but they look way cooler than I do. So they
I didn't know so many, but I knew Tony Hawk, and then I knew Bob Burnquist, who was in the games for a long time. And Bob Burnquist was like my favorite at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was Ronnie Mullen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they was
Rodney
my
Mullen.
favorite.
Yeah.
He was a great skater.
Yeah.
I used to skate, so I
Yeah,
knew who
Timothy
this guy
actually
was.
did skateboarding.
Yeah.
So I was like,
But Rodney Mullen was like such a creative skater. Like he had some sick
Safety
moves.
So like, what like, you played the most of it from what you're saying. You probably
Yeah.
played the most of all of them. What was your favorite thing about the series? You think, or like, what is still?
I think what I liked about the series about the most is like, it's a hard game, like you know, completing some challenges and stuff like that. But it's like so easy to get into it.
Yeah.
Like the controls, you know, they're not that difficult.
They're really not.
But
Very
you know,
simple
like
controls.
The
yeah,
controls are really solid too for
Yeah.
a
Oh,
PlayStation
yeah.
game.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like PlayStation. Like that's why I think this holds up.
yeah.
I think it holds up. You go like visually, it's not the best, but like controls.
The controls are so fluid.
You didn't have to
Until-
change anything. They
no.
haven't had to change anything for like a whole entire series.
Yeah. They've
Until
stuck
Ride
to it.
comes out.
Well, we're not gonna talk about Ride. No one's talking about Ride.
They tried that.
Downhill Rush or whatever. It's,
Downhill, I don't know. Like, see, I stopped at Underground 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Underground 2 was
that
the
was
one
like the
I
last
played.
legit
I
one I
stopped at
played.
Project 8.
No, I, don't,
Project
I never tried
Because
Project
like
8
it was
or anything
basically
like
skate. It was basically skate, but
Oh yeah.
that. But yeah, you know, like having a background like Tony Hawk. The other thing I liked about it is like sometimes they have like Easter eggs and stuff like that. Like they will have, you know, Boba Fett from Star Wars.
Yeah, they
They
did.
great.
And
Didn't they have Spider-Man?
Yep.
Or was like, yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, and they have Wolverine in Pro Skater 3, and I think
That was
Officer
so
Dick.
weird. It was so great.
Like seeing those guys, you know, like bust like kick flips and you know, like ollies and
it's
stuff like this, like so real. Like what the fuck? I didn't know, like you know, Logan could do this kind of shit.
Yeah, look at showing off his moves. No, it was a great series. I think as someone who doesn't really skateboard, who like I was like, oh, this is really cool, and I want to learn about it. It was interesting learning about like kind of like the culture around it more because like it wasn't like a biography or anything,
Yeah.
but you could kind of get like the gist of like why skateboarding was cool, but without all the burns and the cuts and
all
the
the-
scrapes, and
with all
I'm
the-
okay with that.
With all the damage, without all the damage, to
Without all the
to
damage.
your physical body.
You still get all the punk rock, and you still get all
like it
the,
gives you a chance to really learn about the culture
Yeah.
and like see what like why people do these, like why people risk getting hurt
yeah.
to do these cool things.
And put in the time
Yeah.
that it requires to learn how to manage a board, to balance on a beam while they're flying down it. I'm like, what?
Underground 2 was probably what got me into skating though.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like I did skate a little bit when I was a kid before like I actually started gaming and stuff, but like really just riding around.
Yeah.
But then like Underground 2, I played it, and then that's probably why I started doing like tricks and stuff.
Yeah. No, I think it was a really influential series, not just for like games, but for like sports games too.
Yeah.
Like specifically, it showed that you had to have like an attitude of like what your sport is to like really represent what your sport is. Because like and then like Madden and them started doing that too, where it's like you represent this idea of like why this sport is great, you know. And I think that was really cool.
Yeah.
If you were to choose one of those classics to recommend someone to play, which one would you go for?
Which Tony Hawk?
I will go with the first one because
First.
for one main reason is because you get the HD remastered version for the Xbox.
Oh yeah, there was an
Okay,
issue.
Yeah, but the crappy thing is, you know,
Was it
they,
HD remake?
yeah,
Yeah,
Huh.
there was.
it's for I think for the Xbox and I think the PS3. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, but just one thing like I really don't like about that the HD remake is I think they added like they changed the songs and I think they added some like new
Well,
skaters.
you get why they had to change the song. It was just licensing.
Yeah.
That's the
I
problem.
understand that, but you know,
No, I agree. I think like you should play one original like that original soundtrack. That's
yeah,
actually
that would
deal.
make the whole thing.
Which one would you recommend?
I didn't. The only one I've ever played was Underground 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would personally recommend 2.
3. Wow, I like that we all have different choices though. I really liked. I think it was a lot of us entered at different times. Why did you like 2?
I entered at 1, but I thought 2 felt more solid. 2 had the hanger skate map.
Oh,
Yes.
I know what you're
The
talking
hanger
about.
skate
Yeah.
map with the planes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
had that.
I
And
like
then
that one.
I also thought it had just as strong of a soundtrack as the first one, if not better.
Yeah.
But that's like personal preference for me. But the game as a whole, I thought was better, and it was just exciting and come on, no one can deny the hanger was like still the greatest map.
Yeah. No, you got a lot of stuff because there was like one.
Okay,
two,
now,
three.
see,
There's
now
lots.
that's where we're
Yeah.
getting into like differences because you know I think Warehouse was better than Hanger.
Oh jeez.
Warehouse was good.
Oh no.
Warehouse would probably be my
Wow,
second
I
one.
actually
Yeah.
care
Okay,
about this. Now I'm
Hanger's
thinking
number
about it.
one.
Now we get into this.
Now we're getting into this. Anyways. I
Before we
think
get too into it,
we should probably move on to the next one.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Wait,
Oh, sure.
no, you gotta tell us.
Oh,
What was that?
3.
No, 5 or something.
5
They're
one.
making it.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
5.
Yeah, they're, supposedly like this is recent rumor has it.
This is a rumor thing.
like it was like his caterer or like his agent or something was talking about, oh, you know, Pro Skater 5. Like we know he's working on something, but we didn't know if it was like underground, whatever, 5 billion or 3 or whatever. I don't know.
Or just a new one.
Or
just,
a new.
Or just
no,
Hawk.
but it's like they're
Just
like
Hawk
just
skating.
5, as in like doing classic, like what we liked about the series, going back to basics, doing just tricks,
Yeah.
having parks, having that.
Yeah.
That'll be really.
That'll be on PS4,
That's gonna.
on Xbox One. Like
Oh,
I think it'll
cool.
probably be on 360 and PS3. I mean, I'd like to
It
see
could
like
be.
I'd like to see a push for next gen on that.
Yeah.
Do you think
But-
it's gonna go with like those original controls with the buttons, or are they gonna go with like skate controls where you use the sticks?
Well, I mean, like, see, I played Project 8 a lot, which had
Right.
skate
Okay.
controls, but you could also do the other stuff. But it would like slow down. You could do skate controls and you could flip it and
Okay.
stuff. You don't see my feet, and I'm kicking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do all on video, but like you could do all that stuff with skate controls. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had like a combination of the two
Right.
systems, and they made it work.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
made it, like, you know, like how Underground was, where it was like this big story.
Yeah.
Project 8 was like that, but like skate. Skate
Okay.
plus Underground is Project 8.
Okay. I see.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I'm really excited to see what they do with that, and I'm sure you're excited now that you've heard about it.
I'm expecting some extra characters. You know, like I think like 3 had.
I think we're gonna get like a new next generation of like,
it
you
would-
know,
yeah.
what we
I
got.
feel like there'd be a lot of next gen skaters, which I'm just completely out of touch with now. But it'd still be really cool. And I'm pretty sure they'd try and get some classic skaters in there.
Oh,
as-
I'm
as
sure they will.
unlocks.
I'm sure they will. They've had classic, and they all like really portrayed their personalities too.
Yes.
Anyways.
Or like, they could, you know, just bust a random like Underground 2 did. You know, just bring in Shrek. Cause Shrek was in there.
He was?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
it was in there.
They like every time they're basically like, which movies did we like this year? Let's put them in the game.
Like doing impossibles and tray flips.
yeah.
I want to see this. Anyway, this is yours.
I'm gonna move on.
This is your favorite
I think
franchise.
This is ours.
I think we may cut one. Try and cut one while I'm talking.
While we introduced that awesomeness right there.
So my big thing, and this is also a PS1 game, Metal Gear Solid, the original, not Metal Gear 1 or Metal Gear 2. Those are a little hard and a little obtuse and kind of hard to go back to. So I recommend Metal Gear Solid 1 because for a lot of us, like especially like the current games of today, they're kind of like blockbuster set piece style games. You know, like jumping from one building to a plane to a helicopter,
Yeah.
or whatever, getting shot at. I feel like Metal Gear Solid really started that. Presentation-wise, graphics-wise, scripting-wise, it's like going back to it. It's super hammy. It's super hammy. like the what are you doing?
I can't just say no. It's just gonna get like a 2-sentence mention.
Okay, but no, it's basically the story of this special operative, Solid Snake, who has to go infiltrate this base in Alaska to stop this terrorist group who has a nuke. And basically, Hideo Kojima, the mastermind behind this series, who's been working on it for almost 30 years now. Oh my gosh, Phantom Pain.
Yep.
Finally coming out. But he's basically like a reverse otaku. Like, no, that's like literally how I describe him to people at this point. He's a reverse otaku. He's a Japanese dude who
Yeah.
loves American
That is-
shit.
That fits.
So just imagine that kind of person scripting a game about an American like special forces operative,
Right.
and then fighting these villains with powers. And like that's what you get. You get this weird mashup of like all these strange characters and memorable boss battles and memorable like dumb dialogue. But like now continue that throughout a series that takes itself seriously in universe, but then like totally gives a wink and nod every once in a while.
I mean, let's just be real. Psycho Mantis is still the ultimate.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have heard about
What is
Psycho
that?
Mantis specifically. Is this boss
had to.
this boss who's psychic and like reads your movements, and then like at the beginning of the fight reads your memory card and tells you like, oh, you like to play Castlevania,
Yeah.
like stuff like that at
Or
the
it
beginning
does
of the
like,
fight.
oh, put your controller. It breaks the
Put-
fourth wall
yeah.
so
Yeah.
hard. And
Put
it's
your
like,
controller down. And then
the
he
rumble
starts
feature comes on, so you
vibrating
think-
and rumbles it. And like, ooh, and it's like something like, oh, I can make it levitate or something. And then like you start shooting at him, and he dodges all of your shots before they happen, pretty much. And because he can read your movements. And then what you have to do, and this is, I can't say, I am not allowed to say.
What if they go back to play?
That's true.
Don't want to kill that.
I just want to say that it has one of the most original uses of the hardware for a solution ever.
Yes, I've never seen it since.
I don't know if you know it. I'll toss to you afterwards because you're probably never gonna play it.
You should though.
But it's like basically like this presentation of like set piece moments. Like you rappel down a building while getting shot at by a helicopter. You like take it down. Like then you like take it down with like a missile launcher. You get in this fight with like a giant dude in a tank, like a dude in a tank who talks about ravens and death, and you kill him. It's like it's so cool. And like on the PS1, no one was doing that.
Using the cigarette.
Using the cigarette,
like, something
smoke
that
to see
that
lasers
simple is like very useful in the
stuff
game.
like that.
But cigarettes kill, and they make that also relevant in the game because he's like
I'm gonna hide them in my
coughing up a
stomach.
lung.
I'm gonna hide them in my stomach. That way you can't take them away from me when you search my body. And I'll take them with me. But it's like stuff like that, and that's continued throughout the series. Cigarette still lets you see lasers.
Yeah.
But it's like just so influential, and like so many people have like, so many studios have just emulated that formula, and seeing that, like going back and seeing that kind of where it originated, like because it's basically a Hollywood movie style, but it's like in game, like that just didn't happen. So I just think it's really important. I think everyone should go back and play it. You can get it on PS1.
PS1, you can play the Twin Snakes version on the GameCube,
which is a little different, some creative liberties.
But in a general sense, it's the same.
A lot more wall jumping and running and stuff like that. But then there's also, it's on PSN, and then there's the HD collection for 2, 3, and Peace Walker, but it does not come with one, so you still have to buy one separate. But it's like $10, $15, something like that. So it's not even that expensive. It's totally worth playing, totally worth going back to.
It's definitely worth playing.
Especially if you want to play the whole series before Phantom Pain comes out in September.
Which you should want to do that.
Because it's that kind of series where you need to know what's going on. Anyways, moving on. Sorry.
Back to Timothy? Is that
we'll just talk about this one together.
Yeah. So Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah. Robot Hitler.
That's really what they're known for.
Yeah. Like everyone talks about the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and stuff, but
nobody really talks about the Wolfenstein.
We gotta talk about the Wolfensteins. Basically, like going all the way back, looking at what first-person shooters started, how they worked when you didn't have a 3D environment.
Yeah, like you go and look back at it now, really janky looking, not what you're used to anymore, because like now everything's so fluid, whereas like over here everything's like all boxy and everything. It's still really cool for the time because like it brought like the 3D. Yeah,
because you were moving throughout a base, and it's basically like this guy named BJ Blazkowicz. That's his canon name. Going through this Nazi base and fighting all of these super cool robot or science-y like villains and Nazi troops.
Like what if the Nazis won and you're in a world full of Nazis and robot Nazis? Robot Hitler.
Yep. Robot Hitler. But no, it's like super influential. It was like a different, like everything was 2D, but like you moved throughout the world and it like represented that. It's hard to explain, but it was fake 3D basically, which had never really been done before, and that's how you simulate that first-person shooter experience that had like not existed. It was all 2D before, and then all of a sudden we have this game where we can move forward and backward and turn around and look. And you couldn't look up and down, but it didn't matter because you were walking through a whole building. It was crazy.
It was so cool.
And it's like super easy to get nowadays because it's on PC everywhere, or you could play it on your phone, or you can play it on anything, and it runs super smooth because this it's 1,000-year-old game, right? It's just 1,000 years old. 1,000 years old.
And then now we have the returning of Wolfenstein with the new Wolfenstein
which are they're like great games actually.
They are great.
You have New Order, right? Yeah. Whatever it's called. Yeah, that game's great.
New Order's.
I need to borrow.
Okay.
New Order's really good.
New Order's really good, and then they're coming out with the new one. I believe next year or 2 years from now, probably next year. That's continuing the New Order timeline, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's a prequel to it. It's a prequel to New Order, which is basically all the stuff that happened like in between.
Yeah.
So I guess moving on. This is on you.
This is because I really, really, really enjoy this. A lot of people. So a lot of people, you think of Mega Man, and you probably know the ones on the GameCube. How many numbers are on there? There's like
I actually know a lot from NT Warrior.
3 to 7 or something.
Network.
Battle Network. There's just so many. You know that gameplay, and it's like
jump shoot, man.
Jump shoot.
Jump shoot.
Jump shoot. Jump and shoot.
Lemons.
And then you know Of course, Smash Bros. They just had Mega Man.
He's a Super Fighting Robot, I hear.
But, yeah. He's been around forever, and he was actually really good as far as side-scrolling platform games go.
Super
He
influential.
was like the originator, and he was really great. It was awesome, and he shot lemons. And
Pop, pop, pop.
Joe mentioned 2 and 3. I'm guessing those were your personal favorites
Those
from
are-
like the first 15.
Those are my personal favorites and most widely considered to be the most popular /
Yes.
influential. I
They
mean, you
are.
can have a debate between 2 and 3 of which one is better, but honestly, it's preference at this point.
Yeah.
They're both amazing. They're perfectly balanced to be, exactly like difficulty-wise. You can get through them. They're challenging. They're super challenging compared to games today.
Oh yeah, these games were no joke.
Yeah, the original Mega Man games are still. I mean, because they're they're old NES games that are based around getting your money's worth.
Yep.
And since you couldn't fit a lot in the cartridge, getting your money's worth meant having to spend hours and hours playing the same levels,
Trying to get past it.
trying to get past it.
But yeah, they were doing the same formula time after time after time again, and then out of nowhere,
SNES.
Mega Man X, Super Nintendo,
Yep.
and the most mind-blowing thing I'm pretty sure most people saw was he was no longer shooting lemons. You do the start screen, and he shoots the big blue.
Oh, you're just going through the freaking Eager Raptor
Because
video now.
yeah,
It's so
Eagle
great.
Raptor does
It's
it.
a really great.
I mean,
That's
he
actually.
shows it.
We
but,
should tell
like,
people this. Yeah,
yeah.
that Eager Raptor breakdown video of like the sequelitis from Mega Man to Mega Man X is like super worth watching.
very worth watching. But yeah, everyone saw that, but you don't know how to do it. But you figure it out in the game. That actually is a really good point for the game. It teaches you as you go. Where what? How do you even learn in games now?
Tutorials.
They do
Tutorials.
tutorials.
or prompts.
Or they make you read a lot of stuff. This game was like, no reading. Go in there,
Do it.
and trial and error, and you make a lot of error, but you persevere.
Yeah, no, it's like they're totally worth playing. I think X especially.
X added so much to the game. Like I would honestly say play 2 or 3,
Oh, well, I mean,
but
obviously.
play X just to know, that evolution of Mega Man once it hit the Super Nintendo. It's really
I think X is still one of the cleanest, like side-scrolling, like platforming, shooting, that style of game. I still think it's like one of the cleanest games ever made for that genre of like platforming.
yeah. I mean, you can buff up the graphics if you want, but that game
They tried
was-
that. It was on GameCube. It was awful. Don't go
Yeah.
back.
That-
It was
that-
on PSP. It was on
Was it on
PSP.
PSP?
They did that.
Yeah,
Wow.
they
It
did.
was bad.
But that game
I
would
own it.
that game would
I'm sorry.
sell. But that game would sell in its original state
Play
today.
it with sprites. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally worth it. Yeah, Mega Man.
So we are running short on time, but I do want to squeeze in one more game. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I think it's worth mentioning. Everyone knows Square Enix and Squaresoft, and they know Final Fantasy VII, blah, 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 RPG,
I love this game so much.
but there's tactics. And if you don't know what tactics is,
This is my favorite.
it is what Fire Emblem is. But the Final Fantasy realm, there are so many different classes, so many different ways to fight up, just to do the same fight over and over again. You can just
The job system.
there's so much modifications with the job system. It's just
Oh my
it's great.
god. I love it.
It originated on the PlayStation, but
There's also
you
a
can do
PSP
tactics.
version.
There's PSP version and there's Tactics Advance
Yes.
on the Game Boy.
Yeah, I do recommend the PSP version, War of the Lions, only because it has animated stuff, which I think actually
Yeah.
fits. I think it fits well. Some people, if you want to just play like the original, yes, there's.
Yeah, if you want to play the
Tactics
original,
Advance.
just get Tactics Advance. You can. Can you even find it anymore? I don't know if you can find it.
It'd be pretty hard to find.
But
War of the Lions. I'm
there's
pretty sure it's easier.
emulators all over the place, and
Not that we don't condone.
Yeah.
Not that we condone using emulators for
do
everything.
support companies, but for something like this, you're
It's-
kind of
It will be difficult to find
Forced.
Yeah.
unless you have a
Yeah.
PSP, unless you can find a copy, which isn't too hard. But
yeah. The PSP one probably not going to be that hard.
I'm
but
sorry,
the
I'm
original,
pushing it, but I do like the animated cutscenes, and it
No,
works
that's-
really well. And
it's really fair, and
it's
it
good to
fits
have to
for
sleep.
them.
And like for games like this, and I found this out with Fire Emblem Awakening recently. It's really good to have a sleep function, just to be able to turn it
Yeah.
off for a second. Yeah, it's
because
good to
you
have
you
that.
are going to want to just like, I need to sit and think for a minute,
yeah,
and
or
you want that minute.
and you don't, and you can't jump out of battles and stuff. It's not that kind of RPG.
Yeah.
Anyways, We should probably wrap up. You got it?
Yes. You want me to?
Yeah, I
can
saw
do
your
the
intro.
honors? Okay.
Yeah, I can do it.
Wow.
Can I do it?
I could.
Oh.
Oh, Harrison, you want to do it?
Yeah,
I'm
do
new. I'll do it later.
Person taking responsibility and immediately pushing it away.
All right. Well, with that, we have reached the conclusion of the Next Generation podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to see more of our stuff, you can check out our website at next-generation.com. That is a mouthful.
Check out our YouTube.
Yes.
Check out, like us
We're
on
on
Facebook.
YouTube. We're on Facebook. We are YouTube official. We're official people.
Really?
So definitely check us out and
sweet,
support
dude.
us. Yeah.
That's nice.
We're not YouTube posers. We're not YouTube fakers.
YouTube partners with no fall.
And then our Facebook page, Next Gen Nation
Group.
Yes. So, yep. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
See you guys. Bye.
See ya.